If you decided to pick up a cheap mobile phone for gaming and you hate touch controls like me, you're probably looking into telescopic controllers to get a standard gaming feel. After scouring reviews, I picked the top 3 recommendations that can be purchased for under $60 on Amazon right now. The Saitake 7007X, rebranded as the Hyotech, the Flydigi Wee2T, and the Gamesir X2. All 3 controllers have a lot in common, so let's run through what all 3 options share. Bluetooth connectivity, Xbox button layouts, 4 total trigger and shoulder buttons, X input, iOS support, practically no input lag, at least 1 function button, and 8 to 10 hours of battery life. Now, if all of those traits fit your needs, then you can essentially buy any option listed here depending on your phone size, and that is a big variance with these devices. Let's take a look in depth at each. The Saitake 7007X has about a dozen rebrands on Amazon and they're all the same, so pick whichever one you want. The second most comfortable option is also the most flimsy. The rear telescope bends and bows even when just opening it by hand, and both controllers feel barely connected to the backing. There's no padding for the edges of your phone being squished into this rectangle. This also leads into build quality, in which the Saitake has the worst. Everything feels cheap, plastic, and unrefined. The D-pad especially. It moves and shifts around in its casing, a clear sign of input inaccuracy. The bottom hand grips do help to make the device contour to the hand, and the joysticks are rubber-coated, but all the face buttons wobble in the shell and feel loose. The rear triggers are micro-switch digital buttons, but you can actually press them farther than they should even go. I also don't like the underwater button design, which makes reading what each button is impossible at any kind of angle. The sticks have an extremely short range of motion, which is fairly common on mobile controllers, and if you watch any past reviews, you'll see the original Switch joysticks have been replaced with even more generic ones. It does run on micro USB and has separate Android, iOS, and X inputs that can be changed on the fly. Lastly, this device can only hold a max phone size of about 6 inches. My old LG Stylo 4 is 6.2 inches without a case, and just barely cannot fit. That's disappointing since the website lists 6.2 inches as the maximum phone size. The one saving grace that I think keeps this controller in the top rankings has to be its price. At only $20, it's far more wallet-friendly than either other option on this list, but it shows throughout. The only people I would recommend this to are those who have large hands due to the wide bottom grips, or those on a tight budget. Otherwise, it's a forgettable device. The Flydigi Wee2 is a more classic-styled controller, similar to the iPega Red Knight. It too has underwater-style buttons like the Saitake, but with far less rattle and looseness. Honestly, the Wee2T is really a better version of the Saitake in most ways. Better build quality, nicer plastic, stiffer micro-switch triggers, a much nicer D-pad, less wobbles in the buttons, and a fairly sturdy telescope. Any flex in this controller's back piece feels like it's meant to do so to contour to the phone, even though it's still missing interior phone cushions. It also has 2 rear pads for gripping, and 2 extra function buttons marketed for save and load states. It even has full USB support on the left side, and can be used with mouse and keyboard. Sadly, the splitter adapter no longer appears to come with the device, but that may be dependent on who you buy it from on Amazon. The one flaw in this device is the joysticks. They also share the minuscule range of motion that the Saitake has, but with even smaller plastic tops. While they are pretty comfortable, it can be very hard to navigate 4-directional movement on either stick because they're so twitchy and quick to bottom out on every side. That being said, for side-scrolling games, these sticks may actually be beneficial, as they allow for extremely rapid changes in direction with very little effort. The other fatal flaw is the right stick is just too close to the face buttons. My thumb regularly ends up on the top of the joystick on the right and the bottom buttons, and that can cause discomfort fast. It also shares the 6-inch screen sizing of the Saitake, but outside of the joysticks, I really like the Wee2T. It feels more like a compact, higher quality Saitake, and at $57, it's a bit high, but you are getting a quality product. Lastly, we have the Gamesir X2. This device has been heralded as the top mobile gaming controller, and I have to agree. It has numerous improvements to both other options I'm showing. The telescope is rock solid, with absolutely no wobble, and a rubber coating on the back to avoid phone slippage. It has rubber padding for your phone edges. Two full range of motion rubber joysticks with L3 and R3, wide, easy to press triggers, rear rubber grips, an extra function button and a screenshot button, not really sure why, regularly scribed buttons with no wobble, a top-tier D-pad you'd see on most controllers, and it even goes above and beyond with both Bluetooth versions as well as built-in USB-C and Lightning versions. That means no charging your controller, simply plug it in and it uses the phone's battery. Or you can use pass-through charging and never worry about a dead phone battery at all. That also eliminates any potential lag, although I found none on any of these wireless controllers. And to top it all off, this thing can fit massive phones and even tablets. My Fold 1 fits comfortably with a case, and even has room to spare, with space up to 6.8 inches on the phone size. And how could I forget to mention the high-grade shelled case it comes in, which has a spot for your phone and accessories too. For $59 with Bluetooth and $69 for USB-C or Lightning versions, this thing is a no-brainer. It blows the competition out of the water in absolutely every way, value, and upgrade. The quality of life improvements and features, the different connection options, the case, the price, they all make this device the most versatile mobile gaming controller on the market. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and put your recommendations down below for mobile phone controllers.